we love music? Why is it that a person can put on a pair of earphones and be completely sucked away from the world? Why do we drive long distances to stand in line and wait to see our favorite bands in concert? If there was no music, how would we dance? It's one of the few things that we ultimately choose for ourselves. But how do we find what music we like today? Today we have internet programs like iTunes, Pandora, and Rhapsody. We have magazines like Rolling Stone and Spin. There are so many ways to find new music. So what is it about music we love?
I really enjoy listening to music when I'm walking to class or doing something that is sort of become routine. It's good to break up routine. You just want to hear different things now and then. A lot of people say like, if you're having a shitty day, it perks me right up. But I think it's more than that, because a lot of times when you're in a bad mood, you want to listen to songs that sort of perpetuate your bad mood. And when you're really, really, really happy, you want to listen to songs that are really, really happy. And when you're feeling like a badass, you want to listen to some really badass songs. So I think, it's not so much that I or people in general listen to music to get happy because it makes us feel good. It's just we want to listen to stuff we can relate to. Whatever our mood is at that time, we want to listen to stuff that we can relate to at that time.
My mom raised me on Bob Dylan and a lot of Motown too, and so I got into Ray and Four Tops and the Temptations and stuff like that at an early age, and that kind of influenced me into liking other funk related soul stuff, I guess.
I think it all starts with your what your parents listened to, what music they had on in the car, or what music they put on in the house, or what they liked to listen to. And if you weren't completely adverse to what they listened to, sometimes you picked it up,
I think growing up, when I started listening to music for real, when it wasn't like you were just fucking around, I was probably 14, going into high school, and I was into the Who and into the Beatles and the Bare Naked Ladies and REM, all because of my dad. My dad would play these CDs when we would drive around when I was a kid, and that really sort of is what got me into them in the first place.
I think when I was in high school, I listened to stuff that I think it was a little too emotional. I don't know. A lot of hard rock, so just a lot of mumbled lyrics and really heavy bass lines and guitar parts and drums. And now I try to just avoid vocals altogether. I think that's more another progression, in my music listening history has been I've listened to longer and longer songs. I'm really still into progressive rock, and the songs, just keep getting longer and longer, and the styles keep changing. I really like Sigur Rós, but a lot of the times Sigur Rós music is very slow and it's very drawn out, and it develops, or Explosions in the Sky, So I'm more open to these interpretive songs, I guess.
I used to go to live shows a lot more when I was in high school, and I'm from Chicago, and I went to Lollapalooza a couple times. And what's great about that is you're seeing a lot of different acts over the span of only a couple days. You feel the music more. Maybe that's cliche, but it's good to go out to a live show and be getting something that's not just loud, but you see the people that are doing it. They're doing it before your eyes, and you could physically feel the music that they're creating.
I don't know, I guess I like the energy of the place, and when you hear music live, you get to experience it with so many other people. And
oh sure, there's plenty of bands that I don't like, and people that maybe are taking music back a step instead of forward a step.
I used to just kind of be offended by the fact that Lady Gaga existed, I guess, but then I've been hearing more, I don't know, I guess she is pretty talented, she can actually sing and stuff, and I don't know, but I used to not really like her. And
usually you can tell if a certain type of music is a fad or if it's going to be around for a while. Sometimes people are wrong, but sometimes they're right. And that doesn't mean that you have to not like that genre or that fad as much. I think about psychedelic rock from the late 60s. I mean, you hear a song from the late 60s that's sort of psychedelic, you know what time period it's from, and that became sort of a fad, but, you know, it's something I still listen to today. So you sort of have to question the validity of a genre or a specific fad of music. I mentioned dubstep earlier. You know, who knows, maybe in 10 years no one's gonna fucking listen to dubstep, but maybe there will be a group of people that still listen to it for nostalgia or whatever. 80s pop even, like people hated 80s pop when it was around because it was so campy and it was so, you know, piano neckties and these synths and this hair. But, you know, if you can look at a genre from the perspective of the future, sometimes you can find cool stuff in it. I look at 80s pop now and I think it's terrific. This was back when, you know, pop songs were written, you know, for people to play instruments to. And the lyrics, even if they were cheesy sometimes, at least they meant something. Nowadays, you know, half the songs of hip-hop are just, you know, people rambling about shit that doesn't fucking matter. You look at Friday by Rebecca Black, people give her, you know, a bad reputation. It's just some girl talking about her day, and no, we're not supposed to like it, but, you know, there is truth in the fact that at least back in the 80s, you know, you had a love song, maybe it was a little cheesy, at least it was about love, you know? And I love 80s pop. And not even in a, it's so bad, it's good, like ironic bullshit way. No, those songs sound good, and the lyrics are fucking awesome.